Thank you guys so much for joining us here at Married for Life. It's Christmas week, and we are going to talk about creating a love that lasts.
Creating a love that lasts.
Yes.
Part 6.
Even through the holidays.
That's how it's been right at our house. Oh, we're so thankful that you've been joining us and seeing the Married for Life group grow.
Yes.
Well, I think we're over 100 people now, and it's exciting. Please invite people that are in marriages.
Yes.
And not just people like, man, they really need some help. Those are great. But also people that, man, they can really help us.
Yes.
Just get all connected together. And then, man, as this grows, we'll be able to have a great community of just wisdom and laughs. And, well, maybe one day we'll do a big Zoom meetup, as everybody's tired of Zoom meetups, but and just see each other face to face, however that rolls out in 2023.
Yeah.
We've been talking about some practical, intentional, small daily deposits that will make a lasting, loving impact in your relationships. With the way we like to say it, is just like putting gas in your car. Your car to move, got to put some fuel in it, and
or plug it in.
You got whatever you got. Yep. So how do we create lasting and meaningful deposits in our marital relationships? Again, we're talking about making sure that our love tank is full. That's what we're talking about. These things. What do we call these things? These love languages that we have is like fuel in our love tank. Thank you, Gary Chapman, for your great book, 5 Love Languages. So last week we talked about acts of service, which is like one of my love languages. Stop it, you. And today we're going to talk about physical touch,
which is one of my love languages.
One of her love languages. And all the men are like, yeah, finally, we've been waiting to get here to physical touch. But
it's not all what you think it is.
Not all what you think it is. So our relationship with our spouses is better approach as a lifelong discovering process, and discovering and rediscovering each other, and learning and growing as we connect physically, emotionally, intellectually. Learning how to love each other effectively is the key. Like we've been saying over the last 5 weeks, no one started their marriage at an altar thinking they're going to end up in an attorney's office.
Right.
Wasn't part of the plan. You didn't think that way. You didn't. The bride coming down the aisle, the groom standing on the platform of the pastor and his best man did not look at each other and have this mental thought, we'll see how this goes next 5 years. We'll see an attorney. No one thought this way. No. So Pastor Angela, let's talk about creating a love that lasts, and the topic, physical touch.
I think physical touch is important. I think it's misunderstood in a lot of times, but it is key. Physical touch is a way of communicating emotional love. Mm-hmm. Some of us don't realize that. Everybody needs physical touch in their life, even if you're not a touch person, which he is not a touch person. He would be fine isolated on an island, but even the non-touch person still needs this type of connection, even if it's a hand on the shoulder, a hug, a high five. It's important for us emotionally as people, but if someone's love language is physical touch, it is amplified times 1,000. Yeah. And I'm not kidding. Physical touch goes a long way. Physical touch is also a very powerful vehicle of communicating marital love. Holding hands, kissing, hugging, cuddling, sex are all ways of communicating emotional love to your spouse. And for me, it goes a long way. And people are like, I'm a huggy person. I'm a touch person. So a lot of times if I meet someone or I talk to someone, I'm always like, in some way, and people are looking at me like, what is your problem? Well, not
unless your language is physical touch as well.
Right.
They're like, we're connected.
It's a way of me connecting with them. And I'm not a super verbal person. I've learned to use a lot of words, but I'm really not an overly verbal person. I have moments, but not an overly verbal person. And so physical touch is the way that I give love predominantly,
I like the way you said
and the
that
way
too.
that I receive
I love
love.
Because even that was a reminder to me, physical touch is not just that person receive physical, my love tank is being filled because I'm being physically touched. It's also your love tank is being filled by you physically
touching someone. Yeah,
that's great.
And it's how I communicate. So for me to communicate,
right, it's great.
Somebody else's love language, I have to be mindful of what they need, not just what I need. That's why this is important. It's really mindfulness of understanding yourself and what you need, but also that other person,
Yeah,
your spouse,
that's great.
the other people that you love in your life, and how they need to receive love as well. For those whose primary love language is physical touch, without it, they feel unloved.
Mm-hmm.
But with it, they feel secure and loved. And I want to share a short story, and you're going to remember this because was really a pivotal moment in our relationship. There are a couple in our marriage relationship, but when our boys graduated both
what?
high school,
Mhm.
when they both graduated and moved out of the house, we were at each other. We couldn't figure out why we were at each
What do
other
you mean
all
by
the time.
at each other?
Well, we
And
may
like
have
we
been,
are you saying like arguing a lot?
yeah, arguing a lot,
Snippy,
irritated, snippy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nothing that none of you ever experienced.
No, of course not.
Only her.
Yes, only me. But we were at each other a lot, and we were our house has never really been a super agitated, chaos filled house. It's usually been pretty peaceful. But there was definitely an uptick in agitation in our house after, especially our youngest son Nico moved out of the house, and we couldn't figure out why. And our oldest son Anthony had come home, and he's like, I don't know what your guys' problem is, but you guys need to figure it out.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I don't remember what happened. If you took the 5 love languages off the shelf and started reading it again, or something clicked or whatever. But
I think it was. I think we were getting ready to do a marriage group.
Yeah.
And we thought, hey, let's do the 5 languages because it's really good. And I think
that's something
like that.
And it came around the 5 love languages again. Yeah. It was pivotal when we first got married and in this moment in our life. And then all of a sudden, I remember why I didn't feel that way when the boys were in the house. Well, I'm a touch person. That is my number 1 love language.
You got it.
But every day, Nico and Anthony, our sons, we would cuddle on the couch. We would watch shows together. We would do stuff together. And for me, it was huge. And Anthony's verbal, so him and his dad talking and affirmation and acts of service has always kind of been a part of our household anyway. But I realized that I wasn't getting what I needed, and he's not a touch person. So he'd be like, I'm spending time with you, but he'd be sitting on the couch on the other side of the couch. Yeah. And I'd be on my side of the couch.
Or my man's chair.
Right. Or in your man chair. Right. And we couldn't figure it out. And then all of a sudden we realized if you just put a toe on me when we're watching a show, dude, I'm like, yes, Jesus, and Jared love me. You know, and it's really true on how it really transforms and changes. And I'm saying that because that was really a pivotal moment. Yeah. And it still to this day, we talk about it.
We kind of just like, because, she would sit on the couch and usually Nico or Anthony, but both of them really, and they'd just be sitting by mom.
Yeah. And we would
their whole lives.
Yeah, our whole lives. And
even now.
And Nico's a cuddle person.
And Nico's a cuddler. So when he even comes home, he's like 30 years old, 31 years old. Still, Mama, could give me a back rub.
Yeah. And Mama. He'll sit on the couch and he'll be like, Mom, we need to talk. No words come out of his mouth. But but it's just, and
it's the way it is.
But it's the way that we communicate.
It's a beautiful thing.
Absolutely. So I want to say that because it really brings home the importance of learning yourself and your spouse in this area. If your love language is touch, I want you to remember this. Physical touch can communicate different things. Yeah. It can make or break a relationship. It can communicate hate or love. For me, physical touch, I guess, but I'm also, if I get irritated or, I'm a physical person all the way around. It's not just, oh, I love you, babe. It's also like, quit being dumb.
Yeah, see, I get smacked a lot, as you all can tell. Just watch a lot of videos. You see I'm getting smacked all the time.
To a person whose primary...
My arms, I don't even feel them anymore because they've been so numb by the...
Exaggerate.
By years of being smacked.
Words of affirmation called words of exaggeration. I'm just kidding.
Do what you can,
love to all of you people with words of affirmation. Yeah. To the person whose primary love language is physical touch, the message will be far louder than the words, I hate you or I love you. I'm the type of person, I don't care what comes out of your mouth. I want you to show me what you mean or back it up.
Back it up.
If your spouse,
but you do care though.
Well, I do care, but it's not like someone else. Yeah. It doesn't have as much weight as, I love you and you're walking around mad and irritated and I get no hug or kiss before you leave.
Right.
It's a different. If your spouse's love language is touch, I want you to pay attention to this. Listening to what they are saying or how they are acting will speak volumes.
Yeah.
And if you pay attention to those small signals and those symbols that are happening, it's going to bring clarity to what it is that they need. People tend to criticize their spouse most loudly in the area where they themselves need the deepest they have the deepest emotional need. And I say it this way: when I was going through that struggle, I would say, "You're not spending time with me." What he's saying is, how much more time can I spend with you? We work together, we're at home together, we do everything together. What else do I need to do? But I wasn't able to communicate. When we spend time together, can you hold my hand? Can you just, put your foot on me if you run hot and you don't want to, like, someone laying on you?
Why the Lord Jesus have mercy.
But it's learning how to communicate through some of the frustrations and trying to figure out yourself and your spouse.
Well, I think, you're already letting everybody know how to put it in practice. You did that great job already. But I think I would
unbelievable.
He just literally said every little thing I was supposed to say. But it's okay. We love each other. It's wonderful. I think
your perspective.
Well, I think it's being mindful. It's being mindful. Me as a person who's not a touch person, I've gotten better, I think.
You've gotten way better.
Those who have been at some of our churches, if you watch it, they're going like, yeah, he is not. Anyways, but me being mindful that, if we're going on a walk, holding her hand is speaking volumes.
Yeah.
It's filling that love tank. What other things? Giving her a massage. Again, it's physical touching. Not getting so frustrated when she's beating me up or talking to me and she's like, the thing you do all the time, whatever it is, drive me nuts. But that right there, see, that's how she does it. It's like, babe. Or she's talking like, we're walking. Stop hitting me. It's not really, I say
it's called a love tap.
It's a love tap.
And for someone,
but I think it's
a love tap.
I really think like a lot of things is like when you're sitting down, being mindful. For me, being mindful to touch my spouse. Now, men, if you want good sex, and your wife's physical love language is physical touch. I mean, the love language is physical touch. Don't wait to go to bed. Oh, now I'm going to have some fun, or vice versa. It doesn't really work that way because I think there's that book, Sex Begins in the Kitchen.
Yeah.
I've never read it, but I hear a lot of people have it's really saying, you're building up these daily deposits that you want a good sexual intimacy. It just doesn't happen if that's all it's about.
Yeah.
Okay. And that goes for all the love languages, physical touch, acts of service, gifts, all the things that we've been talking about. I think that those things. So give you a challenge, make a plan for the next 30 days. Just pick something each day to show your love through touch. If your spouse's love language is physical touch.
Which I think is so good and so important. Like you said, I think, physical intimacy is ultimately, not ultimately, it is necessary in every 100%. Marital relationship. And how we get there is different for each person, depending on their love language. If you want physical intimacy and you want it to be more than just wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, or sure, then start doing these things on a daily basis, whether it's acts of service, words of affirmation, physical touch, gifts, and what other one? Quality time.
Quality time.
If we're depositing those things in, we are going to feel fulfilled, and we are going to be opened up and relaxed to be able to have that physical, intimate moment.
I think before you close, I think it's this: if there's strife in the home, right. The undercurrent of strife, there's something going on.
Yeah.
We know it. You just wait, maybe what is it? Could it be as simple as the love tank is not getting full?
Yeah.
And I really think it is. I think what is going on, it's like the gas, the car that's sputtering. Why is it sputtering for? Well, dude, that freaking you're sputtering because the bing, 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 bing. Don't take tape and put it over the fuel gauge light.
Yeah.
Fuel gauge light. Or people sometimes I've seen people put tape over the engine light on the car light. That thing won't turn off. You gotta get your car fixed, bro.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's warning signs.
Don't ignore them. Yeah.
Yeah, just don't ignore them. Now, sometimes that's hard to figure out how to do that. That's why it's so great to be a part of this community.
Yeah.
Pastor Andy.
I think it's so great. If you haven't taken the quiz, it's a great opportunity to take the quiz. We've, given you some insight and helped you along on this path and journey. But can I tell you, join us, share this, invite other people in. We're going to close out this series next week, Creating a Love That Lasts. And we're going to talk about some different things and go in depth in some different ways. Put in the chat box if there's some things that you guys would like to talk about. Also,
use that chat box.
Prayer requests.
Yep,
We want to engage with you, chat with you, and let's grow together.
Peace.